Good morning. Welcome to this morning's outlook. Let's have a look at what pairs are setting up to trade today. Then, before I do that, quick look at what news events we got coming out today. It's not a great deal because of, as I said, I say because of it's nothing to do with Thanksgiving, but we do have Thanksgiving coming up, and of course that will quieten things down. So. From where we've seen the Reserve Bank of Australia minutes, they've already been released. We've got Bank of England governor testifying on this financial news. You've got a couple of extra bits now. You've got these little buttons on the side here where you can see exactly what they're doing and who they are and etc. So a couple of extra tweaks put on there. Anyway. So what we got then? So we got the testifying this morning. So sorry, this morning at 10:15. That is morning their time, of course. Got Canadian inflation today. That could get the Canadian dollar moving. Canadian dollar's stalled pretty much. Where the other markets are sort of doing pretty well against the US dollar, it's been a lot softer. So we've got the Canadian data there at 1:30. ECB speaker this afternoon. We've got existing home sales in the US. That is largely the normal trading session there. We've got Lagarde speaking and a number of other speakers later today. I'll just click on one of those and see. Okay, can't be translated. That's good. Anyway, speaking later today. Yeah, just bear that in mind. So let's have a look at these markets. Couple of main observations today. It's again we're seeing the US dollar softening up here largely, and most other currencies doing okay. The ones that are shining the best is the US dollar yen, or the yen. Continuing to make some good distance against the US dollar there. The US dollar just sliding down compared to the yen, and the New Zealand dollar is doing pretty well. So two currencies that are tiddling along quite nicely. Let's just have a quick look at the majors. There's unfortunately not too much setting up this morning as I'm running through these markets, I can see anyway. So the euro is continuing its move up north, pushing up further, having a bit of a retrace at the moment. Maybe if it gets back to its pivot, it will do something. You see how pinched the pivots are today. Really, as much as it tootled up there yesterday, it was at a slow old rate. It did push through its R1 there, didn't get anywhere near its pivot. It was we could see that sort of area hit today, but it's slow as moving, but I don't have a setup on it as it is. The pound's again pushing up. Last few days it's been pushing up there, a little bit slower, more sluggish, taking out the prior highs there. But it's just, well, it's up to its R1 today, so maybe if you're going to break at that, we've got the R2 in terms of a potential target. It's not much of a target though. Again, it's see how tight the pivots are, so we could expect more. At this moment though, I do wonder if it's going to come back and catch the daily pivot there, which could be a buying area. Okay, US dollar yen. So as I've already said, the yen's heading off southbound. The dollar's heading southbound even. The yen strengthening here. We're pushing down quite solidly. Not much in the way of opportunities to get into this at the moment. It's just going with very shallow retracement. So there's it is moving, but I mean, even yesterday it sat there for a long time, not really doing too much. Between what time was that? Yeah, about 9 o'clock onwards, it just chopped around a little bit. It wasn't until the Asian session it started going again. Wouldn't be surprised if we see similar today. Aussie dollar again still moving okay against the US dollar. Consolidated where it is. It's not really heading on. It has managed to break above its quarterly pivot, and my pivot is put there, so they could, but it's just literally run into its weekly R1. Now it hasn't touched anywhere near its pivot, so a break above that R1 would give me an R2 target at this stage. High lows coming through there. So yeah, it's just quite choppy. Look at yesterday; it just chopped for most of the day. Once the main action seems to be coming through in the mornings there, through the Asian session. Canadian dollar, we've got inflation out later. As I said yesterday, we're sitting in this pennant sort of picture. Risky because it could go either way. It's just sort of consolidated and not really doing too much. This 4-hourly time frame just to see where's the others are in decent trends. This is just chopping away. It's just very, very soft at this stage. New Zealand dollar, the sort of starlet at the moment, it's pushing up just that bit further. I was talking about this last night with my swing traders. That it had the potential of triggering the highs here, where it's done that already this morning, and it's starting to look like it could have more. Hasn't, again, from looking at the weekly pivots here, just testing its R1. It has got a quarterly pivot just above, which again could provide resistance, but breaking through that, I would expect it to push up towards that R2. Dollar Swissy, a bit more choppy for large periods at a time. It's the momentum slowed up, but I still think there's further downside. I was waiting for the retracement, and it looked at one stage it might have moved around, but it don't, maybe not to be. The other alternative, maybe just take the breakdown on this if we get it at some point. Some of the yen pairs really can only be looking for shorts on the majority of these. The likes the euro yen at the moment heading southbound, solid in the short term, but when you come back, beware. As I always say, seller beware on this euro yen. It's been running down, but maybe it's the time now. It does have a better correction. I mean, on the 4 hours we certainly put the lower highs in, and it's got some potential. Nothing necessarily setting up too well unless you want to take a break of the lows in the next hour. If it starts pushing down there again, missed a pivot, got a good chance of that S2 on that basis. The pairs I'd want to get into, like Euro CAD, I mean, yesterday we saw it just sort of drift on and then eventually push on upwards here. It ran into its R1, pulled back a little bit, and off it went to the R2. We could see something similar again today, just a bit more of a retrace and a continuation. It's slow. It moved better last week when we took it. I didn't take it yesterday. It just wasn't shaping. I wanted it back to its pivot. It never came. Maybe if it does come all the way back to the pivot, if I find some support there, it's a possibility. Final one really is sitting in this at the moment, but it's not really going anywhere too much. It's a short on this New Zealand dollar yen. It was really coming off it hit the underside of its weekly pivot and reacted. It was doing okay at one stage, and it might still come off some more, looking down towards the S1 on this. Okay, that is pretty much it for me this morning on the Forex pairs. Just quick look at gold. Click on the gold button, that's good. And yep, as expected, we've seen a bit of continuation here on gold. I think we could at some stage, the way this is moving, the way it's where the pivots are, it's nicely set up on the monthlies here for the R1 right up into those prior near-term highs. So there's a possibility. It's certainly sort of a bit sluggish last couple of days, but to be expected when we've seen such moves. It's good to see a bit of consolidation and then another bit of a move. But anyway, gold pushing up there. Crude, on the other hand, is still, well, it's not doing too bad. Softer dollar, we normally see crude doing okay on a softer dollar, but the supply sort of side of things being okay at the moment, it's holding down. The sentiment of big money is still quite bearish here, but it might be something if it breaks back below the pivot later today, post 2 o'clock. We'll see what happens. It did take another roll down yesterday, but oh no, it didn't. Beg your pardon. It pushed up yesterday. I'm looking at the 4 hourly. That's it. No, yeah, it didn't come back. I was alright. I didn't trade it yesterday, but well, saying that, the way it's sitting at the moment on the shorter time frame here, if you're happy with the shorter time frame, it could shape up something towards its R1 the way it's running at the moment. As I say, the softer US dollar normally helps it push up. I don't know why I'm looking at NASDAQ here. Well, maybe because of all these markets, whether you're looking at the Dow, the NASDAQ, or the ES, which I'm looking at the moment, we saw the breakout yesterday from that consolidation on the S&Ps, and well, potentially more upside. I'm not massively bullish on it at the moment. I don't think there's any value in it at all, but technically it's still going up, and what more can you say? Just that's the way it's heading at the moment. The DAX just coming off a little bit this morning. It's near enough into its R2 here, not far from it. Again, it's got other resistance sitting there. There's plenty of confluence around that area in terms of resistance. The FTSE's been the sluggish one here, whereas the other markets are really tootling away. The FTSE really sluggish. Better oil prices, etc., generally help the FTSE a lot more, but this is just, let's say, very sluggish at the moment. Okay, not much else there to add. He says I can't almost stop going and having a quick look at Bitcoin most mornings at the moment. It has got back up to its highs again here, back into its monthly pivot. It's got its a yearly R1 sitting just above it, which is where we've seen the reactions. Question is really, can it break out here, maybe get a bit of a breakout, a retest of the highs, and then a move up to its R2. It's looking okay. It's done this through some difficult circumstances. The shove that we've seen here. We'll see. We've got a weak dollar. Maybe it's got scope. Anyway, there you go. That's it for me today. I wish you a great day's trading. Trade carefully. Bye for now.